we are trying to go through a path for sustainability, but the world is still new to this.
Any product in sustainability, it is expensive. It is not where people can afford it.
The narrative of sustainability being expensive and unaffordable.
So as a founder of EcoGenius, I would like to ask you, how are you going ahead and how are you solving problems?
I just followed my heart. Coming from engineering background, in the beginning it was a bit challenging because everyone is asking me,
how did you think of working on sustainability as your life's mission? Hi everyone, I'm Mohsinaa Ahmad. You are listening to Boss Talks, where we speak about empowerment, leadership, emotional and spiritual growth. In this episode of Boss Talks, we have Tawheed Bashar, who is leading the charge in an era where sustainability and innovation must work in harmony. As an innovation and sustainability consultant, founder of EcoGenius, and a GRI-certified expert, Tawheed is dedicated to creating solutions that balance human needs with environmental responsibility. With an engineering foundation and expertise in water, energy, and environmental management, she has played a pivotal role in influencing multi-million-dollar sustainability projects across Sudan, Germany, the UAE, and the Middle East and Africa. Her work with governments, private enterprises, and indigenous communities has driven impactful change in sustainability transformation. Through EcoGenius, Tawheed champions design thinking and stakeholder collaboration, ensuring that businesses and societies can turn challenges into opportunities. She firmly believes that sustainability doesn't require compromise. It requires innovation, strategy, and collective action. So welcome to Boss Talks, Tawheed. It's amazing to have you on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for this great show. To be honest, I watched the other episodes. It was really inspiring. So I was really happy to be here. Thank you.
So Tawheed, tell me, you are into sustainability, okay? Sustainable living, basically. So what is it about sustainability that drove you to understand that this is now the way of life and the world should go ahead in this course of action?
So basically, years ago, back in 2000, I think 15, 16, I was still a student. I saw that there is a big gap between natural resources and the welfare of living, the level of welfare. I thought, why would we have that much resources, but still people are suffering? And also, I'm born in UAE, but also lived in Sudan, my country. So having all these perspectives, I wanted to turn that into opportunities. And then I started thinking, why are scientifically proven solutions are not actually really working? I thought that, okay, people play a role. The actions of people plays a role. And then nature is giving, nature is abundant. And then I started thinking, what are the ways of connecting people and the planet in ways that gives profit, that gives benefit, that is regenerative, and that is actually sustainable. So for me, sustainability means the ability to sustain and to have practical solutions, not only like the word sustainability that is flashy now, but to have practical and doable solutions that could sustain us now and sustain us in the future, and also sustain our planet now and sustain our planet in the future. So there is no other way. This is the planet we're living in, and we have to be responsible with it. So I thought this is the way. And then the word sustainability came. So I started the journey as just wanting to connect people and planet. And then I realized that, okay, this is what people call sustainability. Let's do it.
Please tell us, how did you think of going ahead and working, because you're from engineering background? How did you think of working on sustainability as your life's mission?
To be honest, I just followed my heart, like coming from engineering background. In the beginning, it was a bit challenging because everyone is asking me, Wahid, what are you doing? Why are you focusing on social? Like, it was a bit challenging, especially that everyone from engineering, they want to do those things. So for me, I just found that passion and I just told myself, Tawheed, this is what you got to do. And I found that I'm eager to learn more about it. And I was curious. I was enjoying it. So when I was studying engineering, to be honest, I didn't feel myself, it's a good social prestige. Since we're growing, they tell us, do you want to be an engineer or a doctor? It's something that is very common in our community. I was studying engineering. I knew that I could do it because I got the bachelor's degree. But all that time, I just felt like, okay, this is not my thing. But then I went to proceed with my master's degree in Germany. It was about water resources engineering. From civil engineering, engineering. For me, like the most thing that made sense at that time is water engineering. This was my connection to environmental field. And then even when I was studying water resources engineering and management, I still like was technical. I still understood it. I was still good at a lot of the topics. But as I was going to choose my own research, I started something that is core engineering. It was so flashy. It was so good. It has good opportunities in the market. But then in the middle, I actually cut it. And I was like, this is not for me. I went and I found a real problem that is happening, that people are suffering with energy. Back in my country, it was an energy crisis that didn't happen before. So I thought, how can I leverage my knowledge and engineering knowledge with something that could actually solve a problem in the world for those people? So what really moved me was the suffering of people, was the challenges that people are facing. But also I had this opportunity that I'm coming from an engineering background. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to research of solutions that could people a source of energy, but also from the resources that we have. So I researched biogas energy potential from waste, which is how to make energy from waste, which is, we have a lot, of course, everywhere in the world, we have a lot of waste. So I started researching. This research showed me that it's not all about having a technically viable solution, but it's also about having the people involved, having the stakeholders involved. So I realized that, only engineering will not solve the problem, only science will not solve, but also having people on board. So creating that balance became my mission. Creating that balance, connecting people and planet, it became my mission because it was really challenging. It was, for me, it was the real problem, not having the solutions, but the problem is actually in people engaging with the solutions. I started thinking of ways of how we can bridge that gap to a regenerative economy to create a sustainable living for ourselves and our planet.
Very true. I believe that, this is the need of everyone to follow this. But tell me one thing, the perception of sustainability is a very kind of an elite word, a luxury word, because anywhere you go, when you talk about any product in sustainability, it is expensive. It is not where people can afford it. So how will the world bridge this gap where sustainability becomes a process of life, a lifestyle, being an elite word where, so I'm sustainable, so I'm following a trend kind of a
fashion. Yes.
So when will this change?
I think it's all about defining it for ourselves. So what is sustainable? Like we look at the word. First of all, I want to highlight that the narrative of sustainability being expensive and unaffordable, it's more of a business narrative. When businesses started wanting to engage sustainability practices, they found that this will cost us. The narrative came out from the business perspective. But if we think about it for ourselves in our daily lives, it's more about taking responsible actions. It's more about sustaining ourselves, our own health and well-being, and the world around us. So it's about defining the word and just, avoiding all like the complicated terms and the translation that engineers or anything. But also sometimes not only engineers, but sometimes people who speak about it, it comes out as complicated.
Yes.
So if we simplify it for ourselves in our daily life, the responsible practices that we take for our daily life and for ourselves as well could actually benefit us. For example, if we save energy at home, we pay less bills. If we save water at home, we pay less bills. If we try to do some planting at home or, grow some vegetables at home, it's fun. It could be fun. It could be something that is healthy and can give you a healthy activity to do. Even the kids are distracted with a lot of activities that are not benefiting them. So if we think of it in a way that it is benefiting us and to avoid all those things that create hurdles in the way of making sustainable choices, it's going to be better. So the choices that we make, it's not about buying the products that are more expensive or fancy. It's about just taking one step at a time, what we can do. So this is the sustainability. Sustain a habit or a behavior that we can actually do until we reach the point that, okay, I'm going to buy the fancy products or this. So it's more about what we do in our daily living, even spending time with the family, even taking care of our health, mental health, even all those actions that are good for us and that can make us a better person for our community and for the environment around us. These are sustainable practices. So it's all about how we just remove the hurdles and just, being open to doing the right thing and the responsible action.
Doing the basic things which are important for us and our family and the world and the earth for that matter. So tell me one thing, as a founder of EcoGenius, What inspired you to start this initiative, and how is it driving the real impact when sustainability is concerned?
So, EcoGenius started because I said before, I saw the gap between how people are dealing with the nature and actually the talents of people. Also, I'm very inspired by how us as humans are capable of anything. Each and every person has their unique genius within them. So, and also if we connect with nature, we are superheroes. We can do anything we want. So each and every person with that talent and with that capabilities, also connecting with nature, we can really do something. We can really benefit our planet and ourselves. This strong belief made me just want to find the tools of helping people and organizations find their strengths and connect it with the nature and how nature can also benefit from that. Each and every person can do something with their own talents. We don't have to copy anyone. We don't have to be like anyone else. And countries are unique in their own ways. Each country has their own nature. They have their own climate. They have their own resources. So each and every place is unique in its own way. Each and every person is unique in its own way. So having this in mind, I went on a journey to explore how I can actually find real solutions, not just talk about it. I have real solutions that help people take real action. So I developed a toolkit for action taking toolkit, capitalizes on understanding and empathizing with people and with organizations. It depends on my target, and to help them to understand where they are, what are their strengths, and how they can actually benefit themselves and also be of value to the environment and also create a sustainable system from where they are. So I work with people, I work with individuals, in entrepreneurs in sustainability. I work with companies to help them create as a plan and also to be flexible with it. So
can you give an example about your toolkit, how it helps individuals?
Okay, so it's inspired from design thinking because it's kind of, we start with understanding. Like understanding for me is a very, very important aspect of starting anything or solving any problem. Understanding what is the core problem, not just the shallow part of the problem. What is the core problem? Why is something not working? Or what do we want to achieve? Understanding where we are, actualizing what are the talents, what are the capabilities, what is possible right now so that we can achieve something. What is possible right now and what is achievable. So when we start with understanding, being curious really and avoiding assumptions, this will help us define what are the opportunities and the challenges. Then it goes to what are the ideas that we can do in this to achieve the goal. And then it's a very flexible, it helps action taking, but also in a way that helps us learn and iterate while we go. And then we can start with a small solution like a prototype. Then we start acting, but also having in mind that it could fail, but we have a way to come back to it. So this flexibility, especially when we transform in the transformation period that we're going to, is helpful because no one knows what's going to happen. It's transformation. We are trying to go through a path for sustainability, but the world is still new to this. So for example, I designed a program for young people who want to do solutions for sustainability. So I started with helping them to find where they are right now and also define the problem. What moves you in sustainability? What do you hope to see? What do you think are the challenges? And then when we move, of course, when I do it, it's more like hands-on. Then, people they be like, we don't understand where you're going. But then once they are in the process, once we finish the understanding part or at least immerse ourselves into it, they find out, okay, this is going somewhere.
Can I ask you something here? Say I'm an organization and I seek your help and I tell you that, Tawheed, how can you help us become more sustainable, more practical, at the same time take care of nature and planet Earth? So what is the basic actionable toolkit that you would be providing to me, and where will you tell me what do I need to do?
So first of all, I understand the context of your company. What are your activities? What do you do? Who are you influencing? Who's working with you? Who are your partners? Understanding the whole context that you're working in, but also understanding as a decision maker, what are you more inclined to do? What are your fears? What are your challenges in actually implementing that? Because a lot of decision makers, they want to do the right thing, but are they they ready to do the right thing? I also help highlighting that, okay, like what are their challenges as an organization as well, not only as reaching out to the outer world, but also as an organization, as decision makers. So when we understand this, when we define what is the challenges internally and define the, of course, the whole context and how they relate to others and externally, yani, we start designing the pathway, the strategy for them to reach. We've been working with them. For example, we do trainings, coaching. We design the whole strategy, the roadmap of first we need to work with the team inside, and then we will also first we need to work on these areas. Let's say your organization and your team, your management, your leadership.
In the organization? What
Sorry?
areas in the organization?
What areas?
Yeah, in the organization.
The people.
Yeah. What practices?
What practices? Let's say their behaviors in the day-to-day living, like waste management, water, energy, their purchasing habits, like procurement. They need to work on their procurement. Like it depends on their activities. Like if it's a company, like let's say it's a contracting company, they have a lot of purchasing, they have a lot of materials to buy. So they need to work on the supply chain. And also they need to work with their people. They have a lot of workers, so they need to work with them.
So as a founder of EcoGenius, I would like to ask you, how are you going ahead and how are you solving problems when sustainability is concerned or the practices governing those in organizations?
So first of all, we start by understanding the context and assessing the gap. For example, I was working with an organization. I found that claiming to be sustainable, but they want to know where is the gap for them. So I started understanding who are their stakeholders, what are they actually currently doing, and how are they measuring. So we found that there is a lack of understanding for the employees in sustainability practices, a lack of alignment between the leadership and the different departments that influence their action in terms of sustainability. And then we also found the problem in measuring their impact.
What kind of practices?
What do you mean?
Like you said, sustainability practices, they were claiming to be sustainable, but they are not actually following those practices. What are the practices of sustainability that they were not?
You know, a lot of companies nowadays, they market with sustainability. So their marketing has a lot of sustainability. But once I dig deeper to it, I found that, okay, they say we are doing health and safety for our workers. We are following save energy, but there is no true numbers or measures to show what is the change that they achieved in years or in the time that they started. So what we did is that we first highlighted that the areas of the challenges, like, okay, you don't have measures. What are the numbers? We noticed that the team was not aligned, just following some guidelines, but also they don't know how are they following, because once you give someone guidelines, they follow it in their own mindset. If they don't have the right training for following those guidelines, they're not going to follow it the right way. So what we did is we helped them, first of all, identify what trainings that are needed, what capacity buildings that is needed for their employees and staff, help them also create the KPIs to measure sustainability based on the focus that they want to start in. We also manage their expectation that it's a journey. It's not a switch off button. Having that opportunity with the client to actually explain that it's a journey. A lot of clients, they want to do, like I said, they want to do sustainability, but they're not ready to do it. So explaining the fact that this is a journey, it's not going to I'm not just going to give you my consultation and you don't have to do anything. You have to do, starting with aligning the stakeholders within the company, and then we develop the coaching and the training they need, and then we coach them or mentor them in order to reach their goal. Then also we develop the guidelines. We reviewed their procurement guidelines. We found out there is a lot of missing points. There is a lot of gaps. So we gave them an achievable way, a practical way where they can start from, but also to revise it as they go, because, it's a journey. Realistically, I can give them the whole plan, but then the whole, like a big lump sum of actions that they need to take, but are they going to do it immediately? So I understand where they can start from and how they can go. Right. And I have the plan accordingly. So we designed the procurement plan for them, guidelines and action plan and measures as they go, and ways of how they can, even if they found challenges in the way, how they can pivot in any point of time. And the trainings, that is one example. So it depends on what we are working with. I also design, like, when I work with individuals, or some people bring us like EcoGenius for programs, entrepreneurship programs for sustainability, things like that. When we do that, we design a comprehensive program that would allow the participants to come out with real action and to know how to navigate the challenges after they go. So it's different topics, but also hands-on and practical, and co-creation is always integrated in them.
So sustainability is often requires a very it's like challenging, your conventional systems people were following or organizations were following. So can you share a defining moment where you had to go ahead and do sustainable practices were performed, and there were a lot of probably, the stakeholders were not at par to what you were saying, but still you went ahead and you said that, listen, this is how things should be done, and it will bring out the best in your organization. So can you define that challenging moment?
For me, to be honest, since I started, like, the challenges were always there. I mean, I said before, like, people tell me, what are you doing this? Things like that. So for me, I learned in time how to maintain my mental health while doing it, because, facing challenges in that, like, creates a lot of pressure. And especially that this is my mission. I want to do it. I'm not just doing it for getting recognition or getting the economical rewards, but also I really want to do this. So I learned in time that dealing with people, dealing with different stakeholders is going to be challenging. Sometimes taking defining action. When I read this question, I thought about it a lot, and I realized that there are a lot of defining moments. But I think being able to use my voice, because alhamdulillah, I'm now being invited to a lot of panels and public speaks to share, detaching myself from the general narrative of sustainability and still sharing really helps people to be more sustainable, and really highlighting what matters every single time I'm giving the chance. This is every time. It takes a lot of strength, but I feel like I have to do it. So I think using my voice, saying the right thing, detaching myself from the narrative, and still being committed to creating a balance of people and planet is something that is defining each and every time.
So having worked with across regions from Middle East, Africa, Europe, where do you think the world stands in terms of sustainability today, and how far do we have to go?
I think through the journey, it was before a few years ago, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it was more of a suggestive approach, sustainability, why this? But now it's more of an urgency the world is facing. The world is seeing what is happening. And now it's becoming more urgent, and resources are being devoted and efforts are being devoted to create sustainable living. To be honest, it's still like there is a lot to change, to learn, but I feel like it's becoming better. It's going to the right, in some regions, it's going through the right path. Like, if I think of, still there are challenges, like, let's say if we think of climate change and the wars that are happening, it's not making the right sense, but I feel like still the world is going to a good direction, especially that now it's more urgent than before. It's not a suggestion, it's an urgency, it's livelihood, it's a lot of things are in stake. Still, we need more alignment between international community, because it's a collective effort. I really love how UAE is taking serious effort. It's really inspiring, especially that maybe 3 years ago it wasn't as much. It was still like a suggestive movement, like I said, or maybe 4 years ago. But now it's more of an urgency and something they are creating the alignment in. Yet still, like, the whole world needs to come together, and different countries need to take action towards that. So yeah, I think it's going well, but I like more change, and also from the individuals as well.
You're very, very true in this. And I believe what you are saying in terms of sustainable way of life, it is not a switch on, switch off button. It is something that a person has to take up, or organizations have to take up as a way of life going forward. Because we have seen climatic change in different zones. We have seen climate becoming devastating for human beings now. It is like taking a revenge on nature, taking a revenge on humans for what they have done and what we are doing to the planet. So this is absolutely rightly put. And I really loved the conversation that we had on sustainability, on practicality, on building a bridge of both these things with organizations and individuals. I think it's a very, very strong message that you are going ahead and you are talking to people, and you are going ahead and breaking challenges in terms of organizations and breaking through, because conventional practices are very, very challenging to break through and then implement something which actually is the most conventional way of life. But bringing that back again in our life is really, really amazing. So any words that you want to speak, that you can go ahead and you can speak.
I just want to say that planet Earth loves us. And I think I want to invite everyone, each and every person, to really use their talents, to use their capabilities, because we are all, like, capable of doing something. women to use their talents and capabilities to do the right thing for themselves and the world around us. So we can do it. Together we can. It's not only the responsibility of governments, organizations, each and every person. Once we are, utilizing ourselves the best way possible, we can make the difference.
Absolutely. Amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for being on the show, Tawheed, and sharing your knowledge and your bold step of leaving engineering and going ahead and taking sustainability as your calling is really amazing. Okay. And I'm sure people resonate with this energy that you are going ahead. That is how you are able to challenge the conventional system because you really feel for it. So thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, Mohsinaa. It was really nice talking to you. It's so calming. You are so amazing. And it's really nice to meet you, really.